Imagine a man standing in the cold of a British construction site, hands calloused from years of hard work, the wind biting through his jacket. He's not wearing a suit, not wearing a tie. No, he's just another laborer, another worker, lost in the sea of faces that crowd the construction sites in the UK. But his story is unlike any other. This is the story of a man who started from the very bottom, with nothing but grit, determination, and an unwavering belief that no matter where you start, it's where you end up that counts. Born into humble beginnings, this man had never known luxury. Growing up in a small house on the outskirts of London, he didn't have the advantages of the wealthy. No, his world was one of struggle, of sacrifice, of working hard to keep food on the table. His parents, both working full-time jobs, taught him the value of hard work and integrity. They had little, but they gave everything to their children. And this man, who didn't yet know how his life would unfold, followed their example. He worked, and he worked hard. He started as a construction laborer in his late teens, his body aching from the weight of the bricks, the lifting, the long hours in the bitter cold. The work was exhausting, it was grueling. But he had no choice. Every day he walked into that construction site, not knowing that it would be the stepping stone to his future. But here's the thing, it wasn't just the work. It wasn't the long hours or the sweat on his brow. What truly set him apart was something deeper, something in his soul. He never saw his job as just a job. He saw it as an opportunity. Every brick he laid, every task he completed, every problem he solved, he did it with the mindset of someone who wanted more. Not just for himself, but for his family, for his future. The others at the construction site, they were just trying to get through the day. But he had a vision. He knew that there was more beyond the calluses on his hands, more beyond the sweat on his forehead. He had dreams bigger than the scaffolding that towered over him. He saved every penny, every dime. It wasn't easy. His friends spent money on weekends out, on nights in the pubs, but not him. Every spare penny went into a small savings account. He sacrificed his youth for his future. And as the years went by, he began to learn. He learned about the business side of construction. He talked to the builders, the foremen, the managers. He watched them closely, listening, learning, understanding. And while others saw nothing more than a hard day's work, he saw opportunity. He saw potential. In time, the man saved enough to take his first step, his first true risk. He borrowed money to start his own construction company. And with that, the story of his transformation began. It wasn't easy, it wasn't glamorous, but it was his. And in every moment of struggle, he knew that what he was building, brick by brick, deal by deal, was worth it. Through countless failures, setbacks, and obstacles, he never gave up. Every time he was knocked down, he got back up. Every time the bank rejected his loan, he found another way. He sacrificed his health, his social life, his personal time, all for the dream of creating something bigger than himself. Years later, that laborer from the construction site stood as a multi-billionaire. His company, one of the biggest in the UK, had reshaped skylines and transformed communities. But he didn't forget where he came from. He didn't forget the sweat on his brow, the aching in his back, or the long nights when the dream seemed impossible. He used his wealth to build schools, hospitals, and homes for those who needed it most, because he knew that the greatest wealth is not measured by how much you keep, but by how much you give. And so, when you look at the skyscrapers in the city today, remember the man who laid every brick, who endured every hardship, who sacrificed everything for the dream that now stands tall. His story isn't just one of financial success, it's a story of resilience, of believing in yourself when no one else did. The story of hard work, sacrifice, and the refusal to give up when life pushes you down. And in his final moments, as he sat surrounded by the people he loved, his children, his grandchildren, he said something that will stay with them forever. It wasn't the money, it wasn't the success, It was the journey, the fight, the belief that if I kept going, something would change. That's the real reward. And as his family looked at him, their hearts swelled with pride. Because they knew the greatest lesson he had taught them was this: never give up. No matter where you start, no matter how hard the road, you can always change your life, one brick at a time. So, when you find yourself tired, when the world feels heavy, when the dream seems far out of reach, remember his story. Remember that no matter how small your beginning, no matter how steep the climb, if you work hard, stay true, and never give up, you will build your own empire, and one day, you too will look back and say, I made it. Keep going, the world is waiting.